Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all tuning in, even though I'm kind of late. So, reason I'm starting an hour later. My brother was like, "Hey, I got the day off. Let's play some Elden Ring." So I said, "Faux show, let's do it." So that's how that started. Hopefully, y'all can hear me okay, and we'll go ahead and get started. Today is the draw stream that I'm going to try and do every Tuesday. And I'm getting a weird shadow on my face here, so I'm trying to fix that real quick. But we'll figure that out. Anyway, I also had want to show you what I got in today. Camera's kind of acting wonky too. I don't know why it's showing like I'm watching it and it's like doing like weird focus stuff. Anyway, let's get started. Okay. Got a neat little package. I mean, nothing too neat, but I figured I'd share with you guys little plans that I have for the channel. Hey y'all, let's welcome everybody first. Andy, hail Andy. Thanks for coming in, my dude. You missed it last time, but you're here today. Awesome. Thank you. Eric Grant, thank you for coming in. Appreciate the support, y'all. Andy with a woo. Hope you guys like that intro. Nice, fun summertime intro that we're doing here. Hail, big boy Robo. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate that you can make it. Let's scoot a little bit closer here. And all right, I think that's everyone's getting the hails. Let's get those hails out of the way. All right. So gonna do some drawing, but in a second, I got a package. Just open this up. It's nothing too exciting, but I'm gonna show you what's going on. So let's see, and hopefully this thing doesn't suck. So wait for that. Got me a desktop webcam, Walmart. Gonna hang it from the shelf that I have here above my head. And the plan for that is, if I want to do physical drawing streams, I can go ahead and do that. See, it's doing that. It's doing that stupid focus thing. I have autofocus off. I don't know why it's being derpy. It's being derpy today. Yeah. So I'm gonna try and fix that. Shut that off. Maybe that'll fix it. Oh, did it freeze? Okay. Anyway, I had settings open. Forget it. We'll just go for it. Anyway, let's get that stuff going. So yeah, webcam mount. Let's see what this is about. So I want to start doing physical drawings, I can go ahead and mount it above, or even if I'm working on my iPad, I think I can do that too. That way I can, if I want to share music or something during these rad hangouts, we can go ahead and do that with no problem, since I can only share one screen. But I can add a camera. I think this month I might actually pay for StreamYard. So let's see. What I'm trying to do is have the art that I'm going to do pay for StreamYard. So if you want, commissions are open. If you're looking to get anything, hit me up, DM me on Twitter, and we'll get that going. But yeah, I want to have the art fund the StreamYard. But yeah, this is let's see. This thing is pretty dang heavy duty. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, this is real stiff. Yeah, real stiff. That's awesome. That's pretty good. Got a little clamp here. Okay. Yeah, this is strong, man. Nice little swivel head. So that's neat. And then, yeah, I could hang that right up there, and I could have my camera facing down, and then I can go ahead and draw. Even has a GoPro mount on there too, which is pretty nice. So that's a pretty, yeah, man, I'm actually personally surprised. I mean, I paid $20, like $25. So better be damn good, man. So we'll worry about that later. But yeah, plans for the channel. I'll do more physical drawing, or even have that, and then I can share music with you guys. The silent drawing streams are boring. So, but we do have a guest in the back. So I'm not solo today. I'm going to welcome my man, 80s Made Consumer. And let's go ahead and get the man himself in here. 80s, what is up, my brother?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you been today?
Good.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard earlier. So I started late because my brother texted me at 8 o'clock this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And was like, I got the day off. We're playing some Elden Ring, man. And I said, let's do it. So, of course, I usually stay up later than him. So
shrink us down. Do that thing. It's like I feel squished. I'm like a fat guy in a little box. There we go. I got more room now.
I know why I did that. I brought you on and it popped you in there. So
yeah, it does it automatically a lot of times. So hey, man. So yeah, I missed the beginning part of it because I was trying to catch it. I was trying to catch it right on time, and I know you sent the invite and everything, but I got sidetracked, and then
that's fine, man.
My computer froze because it's like it's waiting for JBot 6 minutes. I said it's past the time. So I click refresh, and you're opening up boxes and stuff. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was that's a camera mount I got, so it's gonna mount my other webcam. So it was kind of neat. One of the perks of like working in a game store is that sometimes neat stuff comes in that shouldn't come in, and you're like, I'm gonna set this to the side.
Yeah, you're like, hey, we totally need that.
Yes, and so this camera.
Oh, can you hear me, guys? Like my microphone wasn't even set up right. Am I echoey today?
No, you sound good.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, that works. And you got to tell me, you got to figure out how much I got to pay you for that box. You're gonna send me that box.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have one of my guys that works for me. He does a lot of eBay stuff for the store.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell him, hey man, pack this for me.
There you go. Yeah, it's real easy. And then when you ship it out, just make sure you ship it medium mail because it'll be the cheapest shipping. And you just tell them, it's movies, it's VCR tapes, and they'll go, oh, okay, no problem. It'll be way cheaper.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Andy says yes, commissions are open. If y'all want some work done, hit me up, DM me on the Twitter, and we'll work out some pricing and stuff like that. Because I'm gonna have
DM
the art
you right now.
Huh?
I'm like, hey, what's up, brother? I want some commissions.
Yeah.
So the art. I told you I got my character. I want to work on, and I know you're not the guy for the whole thing, but I definitely wanted you to work on one of my characters.
Oh, absolutely! I love doing concept stuff.
Yeah. And then obviously I'll pay you. No big deal. But no, because I've been talking about it a little bit, and you're getting the rumblings out there, and it seems like some of the people that have been watching the chat are getting a little excited. So
yeah,
I might move forward and just jump both feet in and say the hell with it.
Yeah, strike while the iron is hot.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Hey, Andy.
So how you been, man? How's your week?
Good. I can't complain, man. I got tomorrow off on purpose so I can do this live stream, so I don't have nothing to worry about.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Hail TarX9 in the chat. Always
welcome, brother.
In here. Yes, commissions are open. We already covered that one. Everyone's saying getting their hail on the out of the way. Hail Dragon Pisces. Thanks for stopping in, my man.
What's up, Dragon? He's coming along with his art a little bit.
Yeah, I saw
the different. Just in like a week's time, you got a little better, man. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that's great, man. I was watching that while I was at work today. I was watching your stream last night.
Yeah, so was Odin. He commented on it. And he's like, yeah, nice. He's like, he made a comment. Apparently, I repeated myself a couple times on something. He's like, yeah, you mentioned it a couple times. He's like, I'm watching this at work.
Listen, man, once we get going, man. Who knows what happens? Whatever comes out. We're just winging it.
And then like I had a topic last night that some people were hitting me up in the chats, and so like I kept repeating my thing because then they were coming in later, and so it was the same thing, and it was just something different. It was a different stream last night, but it was all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good one. I saw Sean popped on, so that was neat too.
Yeah.
Every time he comes in and sprinkles some knowledge and then leaves.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, he's a busy dude. He's always doing all kinds of things. He's up at all hours of the day. Yeah,
no kidding, man.
I don't envy that dude's schedule.
Cool. Yeah, no, he's definitely he's bringing the midnight oil, but you can tell he's having such a good time.
Oh yeah,
just watching him do his stuff and have such a good time inspires me and other people to just be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's have a good time.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. So you got this. You did do the setup where you got the extra camera growing now.
I got the extra camera. I got the that just was the mount that came in, so I'll set that up, and I'm gonna try and set it up to where instead of me sharing a screen, I'm gonna go ahead and just have the camera pointed at the iPad, or if I'm doing physical drawing, that way if I wanted to share like music on YouTube and stuff, I could do that and have that playing in the background if I'm by myself.
Ah, I see.
So before we get too deep into it, let's get our man Odin in here. Odin.
Oh yeah, sorry, brother.
Welcome to the
What's up,
stream,
fellas?
brother.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey.
I thought it was starting too late, man. I was like, oh, it might be starting too late. Odin might not pop on.
No.
I literally
yesterday.
just got back from watching Blade Runner at that movie theater I go to. It's always
cool,
Tuesday nights, so
You watched the original or the second one?
the original.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, good. I like the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the original. One
Yeah,
of my favorites of all
the
time.
second one, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Snooze
I didn't
fest,
even watch
man.
it because I don't want to ruin
I
my
watched it once,
feelings
and
about
I'm like,
Blade Runner.
I really am like, what is this other than a cash grab? It's pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
like,
Pretty.
It's not the same. I like the original.
I'm
And
sure it was
when the original
pretty.
Came out, nobody
Yeah.
liked it. You know.
Look at that. Here we go. All the hails coming in.
Oh,
you know.
Hey.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, let's see.
Good to see you all as well.
Odin pops in. Everybody wakes up. Oh, Odin's here.
Oh yeah, Odin's here. We gotta wake up. Well, that's what happened last night. I was doing, and then I streamed again. I streamed against the Kings last night, and then John Malin does the After Kings show. So I was streaming against big dudes, and Andy pops in. He's like, "Man, I just woke up." He like fell asleep during the stream. He's like, "I just woke up."
Nice.
That's
nice.
hilarious. That was cool that you just ended up showing up in the middle of nowhere at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
that was a very interesting subject though too that you guys had going on, which was nice. You know, it's what I'm
yeah, I thought so.
Like,
I didn't get a lot of the feeling back from the chat though. Like some of the chat wasn't thrilled with it. We didn't pop those ones up, but there was some it sparked a little controversy. Some people weren't a fan of it.
Okay.
Well, I think the simple answer is, if you don't want dumb comedy, then go watch something serious. You know, that's the simple answer, and that's what people kept going to. And it's like, no, that's not really the point you were trying.
That wasn't the point I was making at all, because I watch all kinds of movies, and that definitely wasn't the point I was getting. And that's what I did. So I just said it was an interesting topic, but it didn't hit. Some people didn't get it.
Yeah. I understood where you were coming from.
And I figured you would. That's why I was just like that guy. And I said to Odin too, it would have been a better conversation for the three of us.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I was trying, but the wife's like, "Hey, listen, like you gotta spend some time with me." I said, "Okay."
Yeah. No, it's no big deal, brother. I get it.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
And like, there's something that's been bothering me. A topic I'd wanted to talk about anyway, and so I was just like, "Well, I got nothing better to do. I might as well stream." And then you were busy, and then obviously you were busy, and so it's no big deal. No big deal.
I actually enjoyed the breakdown of Dragon Pisces stuff, though. That was pretty interesting, giving him pointers, and the chat helped out.
Cool. Yeah, no, it was.
That was cool.
It was. He's definitely getting better with his art, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta have to watch that. I didn't know they were doing Night of the Living Dead.
Weird.
Yeah, they did that because Night of the Living Dead is in public domain.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
cool.
They can stream
I love
it.
that movie.
There's a lot of things that are in public domain, but I have noticed that just even the little clips that I put in my stuff, and I don't even watch a whole thing. That stupid company in Brazil of Invicta and whatever the heck they're called, they keep striking me. And I was just like, this stuff's in the public domain. Like, how are you striking me? And then and I'm still waiting on the one. And then the last time we did a video, and we're talking about Ray Harryhausen, that whole thing is still because they claimed that too.
Huh.
So I clipped it, and then I covered up the octopus video, and then that was fine. Oh, and then that what was it when Inkslayer was on, and he showed us that clip from that really cool cartoon clip that he showed us. They claimed that as well. So I had to cut that one out because I wasn't even going to argue and fight that one.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah,
that stinks.
Yeah, and I talked the entire time, and then so did he. So there was you can't even argue that it wasn't fair use and explanation because it literally follows the rules with T.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. No. So I was just like, I'm over it. But yeah, no. Public domain movies are cool, but I don't know. I mean, we don't draw a huge crowd. So if we start watching something like Night of the Living Dead, how many of these guys are going to stick around? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might not stick around.
Big boys like that.
Uh-huh.
I said I might not stick around. I'd host a stream and I'd probably leave.
See you later, guys. It was a good stream.
I love the movie, but I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Nobody got time for this.
That's when you do it and then you edit it down and just clip all the funny parts off and put it together.
Yeah.
Save everybody some time.
Or you put up your you put up your avatar screen like you're there, but you leave.
Yeah.
All right, guys, see you.
So Big Boy Robot was asking what the topic was, if you want to fill him in, so maybe he can catch that on the flip side.
Oh, for my show yesterday,
Yeah.
It was real simple. It's just it was just the dumbing down of humor and comedy and putting fart jokes in everything, and it just stifling the imagination, stifling the new generation, because not everything is Austin Powers humor. Not everything needs to have that. And so that was just the conversation. It's just so many things that I watch with my kid. And that was one of the things that somebody mentioned later on. They're like, stop watching children's stuff. I said, well, I got a child.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I watch my kids.
And but so many things I watch with her, it's just constant fart jokes like in everything. And it's just, why is it there? And then I was just pointing out the books that I picked up for her for homeschooling, and it's the stuff I grew up reading, and we're talking like fantasy stuff like the Blue Fairy and I got the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and that type of stuff. So that whole adventure fantasy, those were written for children. And the argument when you start talking to people that create this content, their argument is, well, kids can't understand it. This is just easy for them. It's quick, easy laughs. Well, they understood that content, 100 years ago. So
yeah,
and nothing's really changed. And then I pointed out that I watched Fire and Ice with her, and she understood it, she grasped it, and she loved it. And then we told my wife, and she rolled her eyes.
I'll never forget when the guy reaches in the log, when he's reaching in the log, and that thing on his name, he's like, ah!
Yeah, the big centipede thing catches his arm.
Yep, no, that was good. And then they're like stabbing it, but I was like, the whole time she's watching, she's like, they're gonna get his arm. He said, no, they're not.
That movie is great.
It is,
and I was glad to stumble across it because I knew nothing about it. I'd seen Wizards, I'd seen Lord of the Rings work, but then I was like just randomly stumbled across. Oh, Frank Frazetta was involved with the movie, and then I found out Bakshi was the director and everything, and it's just like a perfect storm. Just a great movie.
It really was. And so, like I said, I watched those around the time I was probably like the prime age for that stuff, like 13 in that range. So I remember going to a friend's house, and his older brother had like all that stuff, but then he had like a whole closet full of nudie magazines too. So like it was like the coolest time to be a 13-year-old boy going over there. But
he probably had the heavy metal
and
movie.
I didn't remember the name, so I remember there was like a couple streams back where Tark's 9 was mentioning it, and it didn't dawn on me. So I was like, well, he mentioned it, I got to get it. So I bought it, and then I sat down watching it with my kid. I was like, oh, I saw this when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I remembered it. But then I did pick up Wizards because they had that for $5 on Best Buy.
Oh, nice.
Apparently they released like an anniversary edition Blu-ray with like the digibooks, which I never liked those, but I would have picked up Wizards for that. But it was back in like whenever it released, so maybe 2013 or something, and it's going for hundreds of dollars on eBay. Hundreds.
Oh, wow.
It's out of print, everything. So $5. I got the DVD on Best Buy.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
That is a good one.
Yeah, I gotta add that one to the collection. I grew up watching Fire and Ice. We like recorded it. When
really?
you were able to like you rent it and then you record it.
Yep.
So we like, and I watched it on like a Betamax tape. I grew up with it. So it just was like I grew up with that and like Robin Hood, where I was like on the same. You had Disney Robin Hood and Fire and Ice were on the same.
They're on the same. That's right there. It's a good one. No, and so I put that one in right, and I just expected her to leave. Like I didn't expect her to stick around. She just sat right in. She thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And then I was trying to tell my wife. Well, first of all, I knew my wife would not approve. But then I told you, I tell you guys all the time, she loves villains. So the opening scene when they get they come in to get the princess and she's choking her out. She goes, yes, he's the good guy. It's like, oh, brother. And then the next scene when they whack her and she falls down and like her little skirt pops up a little bit, she goes, yes.
We all did, but
yeah, she's a bad reasons, guy. She's gonna grow up to be a villain. Hands down. Like I can't even fix it at this point. Yep, she's always rooting for the bad guy. Well, yeah. So no, that was a good one. And I told my wife, and she rolled her eyes, and I said, "Well," I said, Frank Frazetta's granddaughter watched it when she was 6 with him, so that's my argument. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah,
I'm sure she saw a lot of things. Yeah,
she did actually. She is such an interesting person.
Yeah, Sarah's
because I've been doing a deep
cool.
dive on Frazetta because I got a video coming out and so doing my deep dive in that, like I was doing a lot of research on Sarah, just not on purpose, but because she got involved after the fact. Like, so obviously she grew up with her, grandfather, and so she saw this art and stuff. But like, it was like she was in her own little world. She had no idea like the impact that her grandfather has had on the world. And it wasn't until after he passed away that it really dawned on her. She was on like a movie set somewhere because, and I don't remember the exact story, but there was like something where she was like on a movie set because everybody there was doing something with her grandfather's work. And so she was there as kind of like an overseer kind of thing. And what happened was, yeah, that's awesome. That's
Odin.
I drew that for Fragtober. When Dan Fraga was doing his thing,
you did
they
that?
just pick random subjects and they picked wizards one time. And so
I knew what it was right away.
Yeah. Fragtober is great.
45 minutes isn't not a lot of time to draw, so I was actually pretty pleased with how it came out.
That's pretty good. I mean, at first I wouldn't even guessed. I thought you just stole that from the internet, literally.
Oh.
That's good. That's good.
Well, that's a good compliment.
Yeah. Looks like it was stolen. Good job.
Yeah, it looks like you stole that.
Well, they say stealing stuff is the highest form of flattery or something.
Right?
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's
well. So it was just that whole thing was interesting to me. That comment that she said she was grandfather passed away. She's on this movie set, and that's why she was there. She was super freaking excited. You know, these are movie stars. They're producers, they're directors, like everything that she was into. She was all about it. And then it was the fact that pretty much everybody on that movie set was coming up to her saying how much her grandfather meant to them and inspired them. And she's like, these aren't comic book guys. These aren't artists. They're movie stars. They're directors. They're actors. Like, this makes no sense. And it wasn't until after he passed away that she actually like learned about her grandfather for real. And she took it upon herself to not only learn from the fans and actually start going to like Comic-Cons and like, she went, and I don't know if she is, but she went like deep dive into the nerddom. Like, she went to start to Comic-Con. She started drawing again. Because she had a whole direction of college and nursing and stuff. And she basically was like, this isn't for me. And then she went in this whole direction and then started the Frazetta Girls. And there's some other stuff. I'm still working on the deep dive, but I started watching some of her interviews, and man, just how much she has come to like appreciate her grandfather more. Like, she always loved him and stuff. That was always there. And just those experiences that any one of us would just go, I'd trade places in a heartbeat, you know, growing up. What, imagine being a little boy, Odin and JBot, watching Fire and Ice with Frank Frazetta.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it just
big shoes to fill too.
Game, you know? Yeah. And so like, and all the art, you know, she grew up seeing all that art, and just, you know, it never really dawned on her how the world saw her grandfather.
Oh yeah. So Andy Contreras talks about EVS talking about his encounter with Frazetta, which actually it's a funny story because he was such an asshole to EVS.
Yeah, I never heard that story.
I guess Ethan asked for his autograph, like saw him outside of a convention.
Yeah.
And went up and it was like, hey, Mr. Frazetta, I'm a big fan. Can I have your autograph? And he just like lit into him. He's like, this isn't the time or place, you know, like, get the fuck out of here.
Poor Ethan. I could imagine. So there's
yeah, and he's like, but in his shoes, he's like, what? You're my hero, and now you just ruined it.
Oh, but, I see.
You know, but from Frazetta's shoes, he's probably like, who the hell are you? We're trying to load a truck, or, you know, with all our stuff, and you're getting in the way. You know, it could have been in a bad mood. You never know. Like, but that's the thing. If you meet fans, always be cool, because you might ruin it.
What I found out in the little bit of search I've been doing is like, he was like your man's man, like your dude's dude. Like, he spent his entire life drawing since he was like 3 years old or something. And he went to actual art school at 8, like professional art school at 8.
Oh, wow.
And he drew his whole life, obviously. But, you know, when he got older, and not like crazy old, but when he got older, he didn't really want to draw. That's why he did the covers. That's why he never did Death Dealer, like the interiors. He did the covers. Yeah. And because he didn't want to draw. He didn't want to draw the interior. He wanted to go home and shoot guns. And that's what they say all the time. There's so many pictures of him doing that. But then, like, the dude used to hang out with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I mean,
Clint Eastwood sought him out.
He was, he was involved into all of that stuff. But I mean, like, I can imagine him going, I don't need you, Ethan. I'm busy.
Yeah. Well, and Ethan was a kid I mean, he was nobody. So like,
right.
But even if Ethan now and Frank Frazetta at his height, he'd probably get the same response.
Well, I don't know, because maybe, but I know that him and Billy Tucci.
They
Tucci
developed a friendship.
knew his family and stuff. So
but I think he went about it a little different way. So
to let the cat out of the bag, I'll talk about it now that I'm talking. That's the book I got. So it blew me away. So nobody has ever told me, of all the times that I'm like, I love Frazetta and I love Billy Tucci. Tucci commissioned Frazetta for a She book or She cover back in the 90s. So that's the book I just picked up.
Nice.
Oh, you have it right there.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up real quick.
So all the times that I had been talking about it. So when in my deep dive on Frazetta and trying to get in for my video, I clicked into the Frazetta Girls thing. Yeah, is that the book or is that just the that's the commission? Yeah,
that's just the cover. He did the commission work.
Yeah, I've got the book I've got coming has that on the cover.
Yeah, so it's the She book.
Yeah, it's the She book.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm
if anybody can do it, Billy Tucci can do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think they speak the same language.
Because she was telling stories how like there was like when she was a kid, she would she would go to the comic book conventions and do the signings, and Billy Tucci was there, so like they all knew each other and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So but the thing is, like, out of all the times that I have talked about any of that, and people always recommend stuff or like, did you see this? Not a single person ever once said, hey, have you seen this? Because I would have been like, I need it. So so I found it. I got the book. The book was brand new wrapped. It was only $14.
Yeah.
And it's from the 90s. Nice. Like, it was printed. It was made in 1996 or 95 or something.
That's awesome.
So that was cool. But on the Frazetta Girls website, the print framed, it's like 155, 185. And I want it. I want it.
That you do.
Well, and that's it, because I went to how I was doing it. I didn't find it at first. So I clicked on it and it said, follow Sarah Frazetta and this type of stuff. And then it's like Instagram, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. So I clicked on the Instagram stuff, thinking I'm going to see all kinds of awesome art. The very first thing is that image of She.
Oh, wow.
And so at first I thought maybe like Billy did something like to help them out or whatever, And so I didn't know. And so I click on the image and it says Frazetta at the bottom. And I said, get the hell out of here. I don't know how I never knew that.
Mm. Well, and I know you love the gorillas.
Yeah.
And I found like several, like more than I even realized.
The only two that I've ever seen.
I think he liked gorillas too.
So the Kong one I've seen with the snake, but then there's this really cool one that I don't know if I love it. I mean, it's Frazetta, so I do, but I mean, I don't know if I love it enough to put it on the wall. But it's this like big gorilla in the background, and there's like a girl kind of in the front, and it just, I don't know about it. I don't know. That's the only other one I've seen. So there's a lot.
Well, there's one where there's like two gorillas walking up through two pillars. Basically, it's like a mountain, but there's like a walkway through the mountain, and they're walking up through it. Like compositionally, it looks amazing. And I think it's like two white gorillas, and they're coming through this little narrow passage through this mountain. And then another one is like he kind of took basically like the 50-foot woman basically and inverted it with King Kong. So it's this really giant woman on top of the Empire State Building holding a little gorilla.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah, I've toyed with that one. So this is the one. This is the only other one I've seen other than Kong. And then I know he's done some like the black and white pen sketches there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see.
Oh yeah, Andy Contreras is talking about the Black Panther with the girl. That one is
there's so many of those. They're so good, man.
Yeah, he drew some amazing animals. Like,
oh, he did. And so, and like, I've seen some of his stuff. I mean, obviously not all of it. And then she's got now a book. Like, she's working on a book that's going to be like that thick. She says it's going to be like a huge coffee table book that they're working on. So that I'm excited for. But I do have one coming, but it's on like back order or something. So it's been a while. And then this one here, Let's see if I can't get this image up for you. All right.
I don't know. Oh, there he is.
Can you guys hear me okay?
What's that?
I can hear you.
Can you guys hear? Okay. All of a sudden, my speaker stopped working, so I had to put the headphones on. I just lost audio. I was like,
oh no. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
You can hear us though, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. So we're good.
Okay.
There you go. So this is the only other gorilla one I've seen, and I love it, but I don't know if I love it enough to put it on the wall at the $200 price range. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like if I could get, because the other ones I got were like about $50-$60. So if I could get that one in that smaller set, because they're still framed, they're still really, really nice, and they're still Frazetta. So I would get that one. I'd have to like think about it. But I do love it. I do, but I don't know if I like need it, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Try to find that one real quick.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so much Frazetta stuff, and I don't think I've ever seen any piece that I'm like, nah, it's not for me.
Yeah. Well, again, like looking at this amazing piece, and you're like, I don't know if it's you're like, it's better than 900 million things out there.
Yeah. Oh, it is. No, I know, but that's the thing is like when you're looking at Frazetta and you have so much wall space and so much money, you know.
But that's what he excelled at was composition.
I want to buy a book.
Like I'm gonna make a really badass piece. Like that was his thing. It wasn't even so much the talent. Obviously, he had talent, but like as far as painters go, it's not the most high end talent, but he knew how to create an image that lasts and sticks in your brain and everybody wants to look at, and it's appealing.
And here's
all the important shit.
Here's an interesting thing about all that though. He was amazing. You could just see it. The world has seen how amazing he is. But he used the cheapest materials.
I don't know if that was the one Andy was talking about.
It might be. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of them with Black Panthers, though.
Yeah, he's got a few. He liked drawing the Panthers with the hot woman, of course.
Yeah, of course. Well, and that's why they created that website, Frazetta Girls. So it's a play on, because it's, I don't know, there's like something with that whole family. Hey, buddy, you're huge.
Yeah.
There's something with the whole family. So I don't know. There was like some kind of like when the art got divided between the family, there was like some kind of thing. And it seems like maybe there was like a little bit of a falling out. So it's the mother and the oldest granddaughter, Sarah, and they created this Frazetta Girls, and they're doing that.
Well, they got the rights to his work, and there was a little bit of I don't know the whole story, but I don't know the whole story either. There was like something. It seems like there was that, and then one of the interviews I was watching her, she seemed to bite her tongue about something like that. So that's awesome. So that was awesome. The one
I would have that piece.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was Frazetta.
Them walking through this mountain and just climbing up. I just thought that was such a badass image. So
yeah,
and my camera will never do it justice anyway. But.
No, won't. Well, and that's what she said is like the original prints that everybody was getting before were just what they took pictures of in the 80s. But when they got the rights to it, they the guy that's helping them out, he rented an $80,000 camera to take pictures of the originals to then put out these other prints. So that was the other thing is where these are great. And the ones that I have are fine. I really do love them. But comparing to these other ones, it's worth the money because the quality of what you're getting is so much better. And then the printing process, it looks like it's on a textured canvas, even though it's clearly an art print. And
you can almost see you can almost feel the texture.
It's worth it for what they did, but like it's just like I got so much money and so much wall space. Which one do I really want? Yeah.
Monkey.
Yep.
I want to say hail to Earth's Best Entertainment for joining us. He said hail a while ago. So I just want to publicly say, hey, man, we see you. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all.
Yep. Good to see Earth's Best.
Those are two gorillas. Yeah.
Those are two gorillas.
Frazetta's composition is ridiculous.
I mean, it's just nuts. But then, so she drew, or she's been drawing since then, and she actually she did some covers, and they're hard as hell to get, and they're going for like $200.
Oh wow!
Nice. And she did a Vampirella cover, and I don't know, she might have done a Death Dealer cover, because there's ongoing stories and stuff. And then I did order the book. I went through after listening to her talk about it. I ordered it, the new Death Dealer.
Yeah,
so it's on their website.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. Well, so, when you think about it, right? If you read anything that is, anything that we grew up loving in the modern time, the original creators weren't working on it anyway. So it's kind of that same thing. So in my mind, and then he never did the interiors of the original Death Dealer anyway. So
yeah,
and that's what she was saying. So then I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And then
were they novels or were they comics?
They were comics, but they were not very successful. I don't know. Veritech did one in the 90s. I remember that one.
Yeah.
And I think Image released one at one time too.
It has a huge cult following, but at the time when it came out, like it was almost unheard of. And it was probably because the comic shops didn't want it. You know what I mean? Like, because at that time, like you had all those like moms and Christian groups that are like, no, this stuff is bad.
Yeah. And it was kind of the tail end of like that Image bump. So it was the end of the parabola. It was like everything was just starting to die. And so lots of creator funded stuff started coming out, and it was just like not as successful as they were.
Because I know about Death Dealer, but I didn't like it when I was a kid, and I was like, and I remember comic books, and I remember people that still had like I didn't know about Death Dealer then. So, it must have been at the tail end somewhere.
I just know it was on a Molly Hatchet cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so I did. I picked up the book, and I think it's going to be cool. She was saying she hired like the best artists, the best writers. Like they got people working on it, and it's supposed to be shipping soon, like in a day or two. So there was, and there's only 600, so that's why I got it.
Oh,
it's very limited.
Very limited.
Yeah. They did two editions, and one was 66 copies, and then that's gone already. And then there's 600 of this other one, and that's it. So I figured I'd get it, and I can pull it up. I already have it because I was already before you came. I was looking at the website. Let's see.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. She definitely got a great interior artist, and again, she's trying to maintain her granddad's legacy, so she's not gonna do things on the cheap or make it shitty. She's gonna try to do everything she can to make it what he would be proud of. So it's probably gonna be good.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Let's talk about South Park, I guess.
Yeah, so here I got this other screen, and what happened with that is somebody was asking her if she would do a cover, and she said she couldn't do it justice because her art's pretty good. I mean, like I didn't know. So the way the one person was talking about it, I thought they basically took her and then drew her as Vampirella. Like I thought that's what it was, because the way the guy was talking about it, he worded it funny, but then no, she actually did the cover. And so then I was like, oh, that's even cooler. And then she signed it. And then it's hard as hell to find because it came out a couple years ago. And then when you can find it, we're talking like $200 in that range for a single floppy comic. And I'm like, oh,
right. Well,
but if it was an art print and it was cheaper, I'd be like, yes. Yeah.
No, I actually got a comment. I commented on something she posted on Instagram of one of her art, just saying like, that's amazing. You're doing your granddad proud or something like that. Yeah. And then she started commenting back. So that was like my claim to fame with the Frazetta family.
There you go. So this was it, because this is their website, Frazetta Girls. And then so in the comic, they did these two. So this one here, the $99 one, this one's gone. There was only 66, and it's a exclusive metal cover. However, this one for $20, I don't know how many's left, but it's still available. It says estimated shipping is the 18th, and there was a total of 600 copies, and they're all individually numbered.
Still left? I'm gonna go there.
Collectible, huh?
All right, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, it's 32. I was actually thinking about buying extra copies in case you guys didn't, and then I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. You can buy it yourself.
But it looks like it's still up, so
yeah. That's why I was going to tell you today, because I was going to wait till I got the other book in hand, and I was going to do the whole video, and then I was going to talk about it. Because it seems like when I talk about stuff, then other people start talking about it, and then not that they're stealing it, but it's just like it gets people excited, because if I'm talking about Frazetta, then somebody's like, oh, I have this piece, and this was my memory of it. It's just so easy to put something out there and everybody else to go, yes, I remember that. And then so I didn't want to like tell people yet, but I don't care. Forget about it. I mean, we all love the same stuff, and I'll make my video whenever I can make it.
Mm-hmm. So Earth's Best Entertainment is speaking of covers. Thank you guys again for your help. I've redesigned all my covers and chapters, and people have been loving them.
Cool.
So anytime, brother, we're here to help you out.
Yeah.
So just some feedback. I hope we weren't overstepping with the feedback we were giving you during that stream.
I told him to change the whole thing. I even went in and I clipped it around and I moved it around. I said, make it like this. And I sent it to him.
Pushed him right out of the way.
Yeah, I did. And then I gave him the middle finger too.
So speaking of which, I know Dragon Pisces said he came up with a new name for Masquerade.
Okay.
He came up with Facade. And I think that's pretty cool.
Okay. That is cool.
Facade.
That is cool.
That's a cool replacement for Masquerade. Because you can't use Masquerade.
So. Yeah.
I did see that, but I don't know if I was going to share that because I don't want anybody else to take it. So I didn't share the comment.
Well, too late.
It's too late now. Well, it's time stamped.
There we go. Timestamp.
No. I had the idea. Here's the timestamp.
That's true. Like once you put it out there, that's trademarked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course, trademark's a tricky thing. Like popularity plays into it too. So
yeah,
it does. And then it also is like who gets it first. Because then you're like, oh, I had this idea 6 months ago, and I just, I put the book out. Ha 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 ha. You know what I mean?
But it's like you had the idea 6 months ago. You did nothing with it. I did something with it. Then
that's what I was saying. It's like,
it's a gray area. It's not.
But that's the only reason. Like my couple ideas, I want to just really kind of hone in and not really share until I reveal.
Yeah.
Here's my page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So you're making enemies, 80s.
Making enemies? What?
He says her 80s bluntness and tough love made it 1,000 times better. and he's like, oh, making enemies.
Yeah, making enemies. Yeah, no, I'm just telling you.
Well,
I gave him a middle finger and I said, you better do it now.
The amount of books 80s back, he's the consumer. So
it's true, man. I said I'm not guaranteed to back everything, but I back what I like, and if I like it and it looks good, I'll back it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's very true. That's what happened.
So I was looking at that was that latest piece that you did, Odin. Is that going to be a cover? Is that just promotional?
It could be the cover. I don't know yet. It's the best cover I have so far. So unless I draw something better, but
no, it's definitely
really it's a promotional piece. Some other gentleman hit me up for something to go into some other books, and they're like, "What do you got?" And I was like, "Well, give me a sec," because I didn't want to give something, just some interior art,
Mm-hmm.
And so I drew that and sent that off. So hopefully we'll see that in some other books. I don't know which ones yet, and once I know, I'll let you guys know. But
okay,
cool.
So what are they doing? Like, so what's it? I know you were mentioning on your thing, but what's it going on with it? So they're putting out like an art book or something, or what are they doing?
No, it's just a page in certain comic books. So it's Genesis Crew, just a bunch of guys that are all creators. So, and they were like, "Hey, you're a creator. You want to be part of this?" I'm like, "Sure." And then they, said they're making this promotional thing. It's like kind of like going to go into some of the comics that they're creating. So I'm just going to promote all the other books within the group. And so I'm like, yeah, here's a piece for it. And see what happens. So, but until I know which books it's going into, I can't say.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure. Like, I wasn't sure if it was like something like that where they were putting in like an art book, or if it was like, you were selling it to them and they were using it their own. I didn't know if they were, I don't know if they were buying your art. I didn't know if that's what was going on.
No. Oh, okay. It's to promote my book, but it's going with a few others to on a promotion page to promote several books.
Okay. I see. That's cool.
That image will be there for mine. So
nice.
Yeah. That'll be really cool.
No, I'm excited for that. But I wanted to draw something specific for it. And then I also I had a cover originally, but seeing as how I was talking about adding this extra story and wanting to do a little more, I'm like, the old cover idea I had isn't going to encapsulate everything the way I want. So this one did a little better. So probably will be the cover. Like I said, unless I draw something cooler someday. So before I,
but there's always that's always a possibility, you know.
Yeah, and there's always that world of alternate covers and stuff. But you know, again, according to like Chris Fisk, you're like asking for some printing issues, you know.
Yeah.
Doing variant covers, and I get that. It'd be fun, but you know, you also want to streamline things a little bit.
Well,
take the headache out a little.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how any of that could really go down. And he pointed out that it's just not only is it a headache, but then it's like an extra charge, like as if you're printing a whole different book. And
yeah, that was the thing. It's like you don't get the cost break of like printing the multitude of because they're like, well, we got to print this different cover, so it's basically like you're just having to print
so at that point, instead of printing 500, you might as well print 1,000 because it's costing you the same anyway. So you might as well print more. You know, like
But people like variants, you know, for the fun of collectability, and maybe, you know, it was kind of like I've seen several campaigns where their main cover or the ones they were kind of promoting the most wasn't the one I liked.
Very well,
you know, and they had another variant. I'm like, well, that's the cover I want, you know.
So what if you do something like Ethan did? So Ethan did that first book, and then he got that out there, and then he later on he ran another campaign, and then he did the variant. But I'm not saying do another campaign like right away, but what if you do variants of the first book on your next campaign?
Well, that could be a part of the next campaign, and I mean, it all depends on the success, you know. Like so the more successful it is, the more the possibilities open up. What was that?
I was just saying you're maintaining ownership of that piece, so it's still your art.
Yeah, that is absolutely my art.
You're letting them use it. Okay.
Yeah, no one bought that from me.
Okay. No, I just want to make sure. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not an artist. I'm just trying to figure out how that all works. And like,
the only way somebody can take that and is if you sell it to them without an exclusive rights contract or something like that. So if you sell a piece of artwork, like an original piece of artwork, the person's free to do whatever they want with it.
Right.
Because I used to sell artwork to a vinyl sticker company way back in the day, and I would just sell pieces, and it was just a flat rate. But then the guy I was selling them to, could do whatever he wanted with them. I owned nothing at that point. I was selling away everything. I'm like, this is. But if you have a contract in place, there's exclusive rights, usage contracts that you can set up. That's what, like, somebody draws a cover for a band or something. They're like, yes, you have exclusive rights to use this, but it is still my artwork. You do not own this, and you can't use it without my permission. But you use it for that purpose, that sole purpose that I gave you rights to.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know how it worked in like this independent scene without contracts and all that stuff. I didn't know, you know, how that was really all going down.
Well, and again, it's like the same thing. It's like, well, if anybody tried to steal it, it's time stamped because I've been showing it off before I ever sent it to anybody. So, so it's mine. Everyone knows it's mine.
Nice. So how many pages do you think you have to go on your book?
Well, because I'm adding the extra story, that's probably going to be another 20 or 30 pages. So I'm looking at 80 total, which means I've got about 30 more. So 35 more to go. Yeah, it's going to take a little longer, but I think it's worth it. I think there's the reasons why I'm doing it make sense to me. And I think in the long run, it's going to help build a better fan base that understands what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah.
And also they'll get a bigger book. So
yeah. And also you get to do the product that you want to do. And you guys you don't have to answer to anybody.
So my thinking was, and I don't know if I explained it to you yet, JBot, was that the first story I was doing was kind of serious. It was still anthology style, but it was a little serious. But I was like, I want to do some things that are kind of campy sometimes and a little more tongue in cheek. And I'm like, well, if I do the next book and all of a sudden it's like this campy tongue in cheek kind of feel, then everybody's gonna be like, wait a minute, that's not what we signed up for. So I figured I would do two stories in one book, and they would kind of cover both bases. That way people know to expect one or the other. So like they'll get it. And even if they like one or don't like the other, or they like both, they'll know that that's kind of a thing. Like, you know, like I said, I think a lot of anthology series do well when there's some really cutting, serious stories, but also some kind of goofy, like a little more fun just for fun factor kind of stories. Not necessarily funny, but maybe a little more jokes in them, you know, and just a little more campy.
Yeah. So the chat's talking about that She-Hulk trailer. Did you see that?
No.
Okay. It's horrible. Like, pull up the don't watch the trailer because we don't want to get struck, but just pull up the image of the new She-Hulk, like her, because it shows her changing. And I had put out a tweet that Gamora is a better She-Hulk than what we're gonna get, because, and then I said it's because they used makeup and practical effects, and then this one is all CGI and it looks crappy. It looks like bad Photoshop.
Oh,
and
is this a movie?
Yeah, it's a show on Disney Plus.
Oh, it's a Disney Plus show. Okay,
right. So she looks like the thumbnail that you're getting from that. She looks like just painted green, like bad CGI, like a high school kid was just messing around on the computer and said, "I made her green."
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Like, yeah. Pull up the image. I'm just
trying to find one.
Okay, I haven't seen it, so I'm curious.
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, yeah, don't play the video because we'll get struck. But
I'm trying to find a image that's the decent size is what I'm trying to find. But they're all super tiny. But
you always wonder about popularity of characters, you know, and like why they're making a movie. Like, I don't know if it was you, 80s Made, that like tweeted the thing about Sharon Carter or whatever.
Yeah. I was
and it's
about
like
that today too.
Who's asking for this? Who the hell wants to see this movie?
Nobody. What I had
there's
said
no superhero element. There's nothing entertaining about it.
No. Yeah, because I didn't say who's asking for this. I was complaining about it, and somebody else said who's asking for this. So then I said, not me. What I had said was it was because somebody else was talking about it, and I responded to their statement.
Oh, okay.
I quote tweeted it, and I said
that's why I saw it.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I mean, it is zoomed.
That's
in,
like Jelly Green Giant,
dude.
like bad.
That's not her. Is that one? That's not the one I saw today. That's not
Toxic
the one. Here, I'll pull it up.
Not Toxic Avenger, Captain Planet. That's what.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll pull it because I pulled up the thing here.
Damn. They're all like super tiny. I'm like,
yeah, no, I got it right here.
Andy Contreras, no, I've never read Monsters and Other Scary Shit, but I'm gonna pull it up and eventually check it out.
Let's see.
You're gonna say it's textbook Uncanny Valley. They should just got like a hot ass female bodybuilder chick that was thick and be like, "You're Hulk. We're gonna paint you green like Lou Ferrigno."
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno.
No, it's fine. All right, so just pull up the image I got because this is the one you're getting. That's it. And so that's how she's painted green, and this is how she's changing. And this doesn't even do it justice. Like when they show it in the trailer, like it is dark. So from her forehead to probably right below her cheekbones is where she's turning green, and then that right there, that's her being green. And it's just like it's not the same. And I mean, you're right. Lou Ferrigno had a better thing, but Gamora seems like a better She-Hulk altogether than what we're getting with this.
Yeah, and you don't even have to do the whole like oh, she changes all the time. Just make her She-Hulk all the time.
Right. Well, and that's what they did in the comic book. So I never read it. I just know what people have talked about it. Because it wasn't for me, but everyone says that she stays She-Hulk all the time because she feels sexy that way. She feels more confident. That's the reason she stays, and so she's nothing like Hulk and Hulk's out, and that's what some of the newer writers were writing, and that's why like there was this weird controversy right before the show came out. They made Hulk, and I thought they were just playing the weirdo stuff because I was like, why is Hulk like looking like an Indian girl, like there, because he had there was a braid going on, and like there was like some kind of outfit on her chest, and I was just like, why is Hulk like look like an Indian girl? And then I find out that was the new She-Hulk, and I said, that's stupid. No, she was always smaller. She was always very sexy and confident. That was why, and she chose to stay Hulk because she wanted to be that way, because her regular personality was shy and not confident at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then in the show, it looks like they're going to go back and forth all the time. And then from the trailer, it looks like she's going to Hulk out, and then she actually does train with Bruce Banner as Hulk. So he's on there. So whatever the heck his name is there.
Whatever. How are you going to do Smart Hulk off the camera?
Right.
Like an Endgame, like whatever. You're going to, I'm Smart Hulk now. And it's like, how are you going to do that off camera? You didn't even do a movie or anything or give it 5 minutes.
No,
yeah,
I
became smart. I'm Smart Hulk now. And then you see him again. I'm not Hulk anymore. You're like, dude, what are they doing with this guy?
Yeah.
They don't know what the hell they're doing.
Nope, I'm telling you. I was done a long time ago. I was uninterested a long time ago. I watched all the MCU, but moving forward, I don't care. I really don't care. But then, that Agent Carter is the same way. They're gonna swap it out. They're gonna make live action what if Agent Carter is Captain America kind of thing, AR Captain Carter, what they're calling it. I'm not into that. And to me, her whole story, she's a spy. That's a cool story. I'd rather take that than a token any day.
Yeah
exactly.
If you want a Captain America story, you know where to find it. So this is what we're getting there.
So Andy was asking you, Odin, have you ever read the book Monsters and Other Scary Shit, a monsters anthology book by any chance?
Yeah, so I was saying I have not checked that out, but I pulled it up so that way after all of this, it'll be a tab on my computer screen to make sure I check it out. But I did read a little blurb on it. It sounds pretty cool. Also, I want to say Earth's Best, he said he liked the trailer. We won't hold it against you. I've never seen it, so I can't say. But,
I thought it was kind of neat that they were doing
I don't like her. I don't like how they're like, she doesn't look like the She-Hulk. That was the thing. And then the one little, it seems like they're going to push, instead of her being the way I've been explained how the character is in the comic book, that she's not going to be like that. She's going to be your typical strong female character. She's going to Hulk out. She's going to rage out, because there's a scene in the trailer where she gets mad and then she rips the door off because she's mad at Hulk, Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
And then
I always wondered,
woods.
Female Hulk, like, would it be like every month she just basically turns into the Hulk?
Every month she's mad.
Yeah.
No.
She's green. But
no, because from my understanding of that whole storyline is she chooses to be Hulk because she just that whole thing of just being confident and sexy, and that's how she liked it better. And that's why Eric July always talks about it. It's his only go-to for tokenized characters. It's the only one he actually really liked, and the one that only made sense to him. So
made sense, but it does make sense. Yeah,
and that's my only knowledge of She-Hulk is from what Eric July has said. But I still have no interest in going read the book.
Yeah, I mean it's also because sure it's a token, of course, but I mean it's before it became a big fad. In my opinion, now they just do it.
She-Hulk's been around for a while, but
she's different. She's the opposite,
right? And that's what Eric July has always said about it, was that it's the best token, because even though she is Hulk in every sense of the word, the reason she stays Hulk is not the same reason he is Hulk. And then just the complete opposites, and the way her character is done, he says it's paid a lot of respect to it, and there's a whole lot of things there. So my only thing about the show and that trailer is her changing green and her skin just being green. And I'm just saying that Gamora was a better looking Hulk than what we're going to get here. The show might be fine, but I've already dipped out anything new. I'm not even interested.
Yeah. I heard Moon Knight was trash.
I heard a lot of fans were disappointed.
It depends on who I've heard it from. I've heard other people like it, but usually it's non-fans,
right. Well, that's always the thing, always. And then, somebody, the Star Wars girl was already. She found a whole bunch of leaked articles that we were all right that Obi-Wan is going to be a bait and switch hardcore. There's already some female main character, so the Star Wars girl's already talking about that one. So I'm telling you, they've done this so much. I couldn't even get excited over the new stuff. Even if I really was, it was my favorite. If they were like, "Hey, we're making a new Phantom story," I'd be like, "Okay, good luck with that."
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to believe anything that comes out anymore.
Yep.
That it's going to be not shit.
Well, I'm definitely not running down. I don't have the take my money attitude that I used to.
Yeah.
That's why all these CG books keep getting backed, because I'm not going to the movies. I'm not buying the stuff. Like,
well, that's like when people ask me if I've seen this or I've seen that. I'm like, no, because it's hard to want to invest in things that have a really strong feeling you're going to be disappointed by. So
yeah. It's like they want to tell stories, but they don't want to go through the effort of like building, like, oh, I have the story to tell. It has nothing to do with anything. It's a new IP, and they got to build it. They don't want to do that. They want to be like, we're going to grab Halo, and we're going to tell the story. Right. We're going to attach Halo to it.
I smelled that one a mile away.
Yeah.
Because
you're looking at it, and you're like, the costumes look great. The action is cool. Like, you're like, man. And then the first episode comes out. They're like, don't do it, guys. And then looking at Halo fans. Now it's your turn.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man. That's I saw it coming.
Wait, there's a Disney Predator? What the hell?
Yeah, oh yeah. And there was a whole thing with that because the original creator of Predator had already put their intentions, because there's that new law of like after 35 years or something, it goes back to the original creator. That's why James Cameron got Terminator back and all that stuff. Right. So that was coming up, and they put out their letter of intention to Fox, and then Disney was buying it. So they were all made aware of that, and then right at the line where they were supposed to get it back, and they said, they put out their letter, we have every intention on taking our character back. And then Disney's like, oh no, we're doing a movie now. And then it turned into a thing that there was a lawsuit thing going on. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they settled out of court. I don't know, but I know Disney's moving forward because that's how they roll.
Money at the guy.
Called Prey.
Primal season 2, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's Prey, and they just showed like two chicks in the field on the thumbnail. I was like, all right, I'm not watching this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two chicks in the field. We used to have like an army of trained soldiers that were all bodybuilders.
Yeah. I was like, two chicks in the field with sticks. They're gonna win because whamming or whatever.
And then the whole Predator concept. It's like a Indian girl with like a bow and arrow. So you're like gonna Turok that stuff,
right? When Arnold and Jesse, the bodybuilder,
couldn't do it, they barely got out.
Barely do it.
Everybody died except for Arnold. They barely gets out.
And
get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah. And then there's two little tiny girls, one with a bow and arrow. They're gonna make it. Yeah.
But like you said, JBot, because whamming.
Yep.
They're gonna win.
It's a superpower.
Yeah.
It is a superpower. In the movie world, it's definitely a superpower.
Really
now I've got 3 daughters. And so I really used to, especially when they're young, like push them towards all these strong female leads. But now it's kind of ridiculous. But they see through it because I've trained or taught them, not trained them, but taught them to see through this stuff. But so they still like strong female leads, but a lot of times they're like, that's fucking ridiculous. Like a woman couldn't do that to a dude.
Right.
I'm
so
like, I know.
No, I 100% agree with you, and that's the greatest thing ever. But like my wife, sometimes she gets a little uppity, and I'm like, go ahead and pick up that fridge. You move the fridge, and I'll do anything you tell me to. and it's that whole thing. And she grew up in the country. She grew up in Ohio. Her dad's a coal miner. Like, she grew up in like that whole area. She's older than me, and so. No sense of the word is she living in the fantasy world that that we're living in today. But there's been some times where she just gets a little big for her britches, and I'm like, go ahead and move that fridge.
You guys, there was a Joe Rogan stand-up routine that he was talking about. He's like, how I am. He's like me. He's got 3 daughters, wife. He's like, I don't have the wife, but like the 3 daughters. He's like, I am pro woman. I'm 100% pro woman. But here's the reality. I could beat the shit out of any of them any day of the week. He's like, even if I was sick and they all ganged up on me, I'd still fucking win.
Right.
And that's the reality. Like my daughters, I've trained them to be tough. They've done so much tough stuff with me, and I've worked them hard, and I want them to be like strong women. But like they could all team up on me and decide, unless they had some like secret weapons in their back pocket that I didn't know about, I would win. Right. And even if their mom joined in, like it doesn't matter.
No,
like,
I know.
I would win.
No, and that's a crazy thing. So that's why, and I was mentioning that on the stream last night too. Like somebody mentioned, like there's horrible movie tropes. Like that's the one that bothers me. I can put some suspension of disbelief. You throw out some Wonder Woman. You give me a broad with some superpowers. I'll believe she's going to do anything you're going to tell me she's going to do. But you give me a normal chick who went through training. She's not picking dudes up and throwing them around. And the only one I'll even give a pass to was I don't know if you saw that Red Notice with Ryan Reynolds. You know, I'm a Ryan Reynolds simp, but Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot. Have you seen that one?
I haven't. No.
It's fun. So it's fun. It was on Netflix, but The Rock's in it. Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot, and there's a scene in there where she's fighting everybody, and in that scene, you can see that she's using their own leverage and their own body weight against them. So she's not just tossing these dudes around. Right. And so there's that scene. And then later on, they explain something else. And then so it's even more obvious that she's using their body weight against them. And so it's not just this little tiny woman who's just beating up two dudes, because it does come across that way in the trailer. And so I was like, well, I do like Ryan Reynolds, and this three right here, I think will probably be great. I'll give it a chance. And I did, and I was really impressed. I really enjoyed it. I mean, at its core, it's not a phenomenal movie, but it's fun.
Well, I believe it a little more with Gina Carano.
Yeah.
But that said, she's still in a movie with so she's a badass for a female, but she's in a movie with guys who are playing badasses for men.
Right.
So she's still got to be a tier down.
Right.
That's just reality.
Yeah.
So she's tough, fighting anybody in the world, but these other guys who are the toughest of the dudes are still going to be that much stronger. So it's keeping that reality intact. I mean, it's superhero stuff. And again, if you have a superpower and heightened agility or heightened strength, that happens. But
yeah, well, I said the same thing. So there's this cartoon rolling around. It's this the whole thing is feminist power drivel garbage, and it's the DC characters, but they're all chicks. It's all girls, and the whole thing's geared towards little kids. And back when we had Netflix, my kid was watching it, and I didn't mind at first, but then I started listening to it. I was like, this is just feminist programming. It's all it is. It literally is women are great, men are stupid. That's the entire program.
Wow.
So I told my wife, I said, I'm not a big fan of this, and and she said, oh, it's probably fine. And then she caught some of it and she said, yeah, I understand. And then and that was about the time we got rid of it anyway. So we haven't seen it since. But there was the one episode that my wife saw was Supergirl was kicking Superman's ass. They're both super, but she's a girl and clearly physically smaller and clearly not as strong. So that's not going to happen.
One that I watched that was actually pretty good. We went and saw it in theaters and date night when it came out was Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron.
Okay.
And
she the character really well.
Yeah, but the combat, you could tell that she trained for it. But she's not just throwing dudes around. When she's fighting these guys, she's going for the gun or she's pulling out a knife or she'll grab something to hit them with. She's not just punching them in the face.
Yeah.
She's kicking them in the knees. She's hitting them in the throat. She's it's a lot of stuff that makes sense. And you could tell that she busted her ass to make these fight scenes. She's falling downstairs and shit. You could appreciate the work and you could suspend your disbelief on what she's doing. Cause it's nothing that's far fetched that if a woman fought a man, that's what a woman would do. Take an eye out, stuff like that.
Smart. Right.
So I'd recommend checking that one out. That one's pretty.
I actually have that one. I think it's a great soundtrack too. Cause it's set in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, I agree with you on that. But the problem with that one is they're trying to piggyback off that. So that's a one-off movie. It's a specialty movie. But then they're starting to pump out a lot of these in that same vein. Because there was this other one I checked out. I don't remember the name of it, but it was the same kind of thing. I'd have to pull it up, but it was a short girl. She has a roundish face, and it was the same kind of thing. And she was just whooping dudes' asses, and I was just like, it's just you keep doing that. It's not going to always be that way.
I think if you are happy to do it, it has to be believable. Especially if you're doing
Barbed Wire was horrible.
Yeah, the comic book wasn't too bad, but I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but.
Well, I mean, 13-year-old me got to see Barbed Wire on the screen, so I was just like,
we all watched.
I understood. Titties, naked. That's all I remember of it. I do remember it being a bad film.
Right. Well, that's probably the secret power is that the guys are in awe of the cleavage that they're like they can't fight correctly.
It's ridiculous. And then speaking of that,
did you see that
Mandy Summers post?
Mm-mm.
So some guy attacked her, and then you look at his thing. He's got he's not following anybody. He's just he's got a small account.
He's just starting
so one of those sock puppet accounts, or it's just some dude trying to get some clout or whatever. And just literally out of blue, because she posted a picture of herself and said, "Hey guys, have a great day. Everybody have a good day." Because she's always like that and she's nice. Well, he literally just attacks her for her boobs. And the way her shirt's cut, and he said, and what is it? And that's my thing is what is it? Let women do whatever they want, and then when you don't like their politics, then they're the monster. Because that's what he was attacking. Basically, he was calling her a slut without calling her a slut. Talking about her boobs and stuff. And so all of her followers were just like, get the hell out of here. And it's just nuts, man. How if you have the right politics, you look at the whole Lizzo thing, when she had her cheeks hanging out, there were some people that are like, that's unnecessary, but there's a whole lot of people that are like, yay.
I was one of those people that said it was unnecessary.
She wears a shirt that every other girl has. Yeah. And this guy's going to attack her over that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and if I'm being 100%, I don't like, it's not that I don't like seeing cleavage or boobs, but I kind of get the idea behind it is this will help what I'm trying to do here.
Mm-hmm.
But, everybody does that to a certain, whatever you've got to make that happen. But I always say even if you had the opinion, who the fuck are you to say it? If you don't like it, move on,
Right. Well, that's what a lot of people said. If you don't
like it, seriously, none of your damn business.
Right. Right. But it's my thing is it's those types of people that would be all about, Lizzo with her ass hanging out,
yes.
And clapping and excited, but then complaining over here. It's not, exactly. It's never consistent.
There's plenty of double standards on that.
Yeah. It's, we can't be prudish all the time. We're only prudish when we don't like the politics of the person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Boom. Look at that.
Well, let me open this. I figured I said it's an art stream. I should show some art, right?
Yeah. Right. Well, I got nothing to draw, so I'm just gabbing away. That's all on you, brother.
So I'm experimenting with some different types of I don't know if I'm gonna do a more solid line or if I'm gonna go with a more of a pen line. So I'm trying to go with an even solid outline on this one.
So Andy Contreras says, which I can't see now, says Alita Battle Angel was dope and believable considering she was part machine. And when they showed her hand in the cyborg's eye, that was a crazy scene to see it in theaters. And it's my opinion, of course. And no, you know what? You're right, Andy. But here's the twofold, right? So the very first time she goes up against him, she gets her ass handed to him. And then later on when she's fighting, she's using her size to her advantage, like you would expect in real life. Like she's slinky, she's sliding around, like she's not just going head to head and fist for fist. Like it's not right. Like that.
Strength on strength.
You when you have that, so that scene is great, and you can have that. You can have a wicked, awesome, badass female character going up this giant monster of a man, but you have to set it in reality. And even though she's this badass robot, a cyborg, whatever it is, and then so he's basically a robot cyborg too. You play to their strengths, and so that right there is an ultimate matchup. And like I've always said before, your hero is only as good as your villain. So if you have this really awesome, scary, menacing villain, like when you put yourself in those shoes, like how would I? This thing's as big as a building. How am I going to do this? So how is she going to do this? That whole mentality, and it makes it cooler. It makes it more believable. And that for me is fun. And like I said, I enjoyed that Red Notice one with Gal Gadot, and she was still tossing those guys around, but you can see how she uses their own body weight to move it around. And so doing that, just like you said, like JBot said about going after the knees and the eyes and the groin and going after those things. But when you see them going fist for fist, punch for punch, come on, get out of here.
Did they talk about? No, I haven't seen the live action movie, but I read the first 3 volumes.
I liked it
of the book. Do they talk about the body being special?
Yeah, she's like a robot.
Okay, but her body's supposed to be a combat body.
Well, she gets the combat body.
Yeah, and then she's also I don't know if they elaborate, but she was like a child soldier on Mars.
They do.
Okay.
It was. I really enjoyed it, but I never read the manga. And then I was going to get the cartoon anime that they did. Well, obviously it's anime cartoon, so I was going to get the anime from the 80s, but the only thing I can find it on is VHS, and like people were when I was looking before, they were asking for a lot of money, and I didn't see spending between like $50 and $80 for a VHS tape.
Yeah,
so I wasn't.
I don't know if they re-released it or not.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I only found it on eBay as a VCR tape, which I wouldn't mind having a VCR tape. You know that. But to spend that kind of money on a VCR tape, and then you never know if it's going to be wrecked. You know, you can get it, and the tape could be all moldy. Or it could be all like crinkled up. It could have been eaten. You know, you never know if it's going to work right.
Yeah.
And so to spend that kind of money, it just turns into like, I'll pay.
I wonder if it's on YouTube.
I'm sure it is, but you know, I am a sucker for that physical media, brother.
Yeah, well, you know, at least you get to see it.
I know where you're coming from, but I have to enjoy it in that experience of the best possible quality.
Yeah, because in the manga, she's she's a child soldier on Mars, and the lady who taught her art, it's a special art that they use, like acrobatics and momentum.
Yeah.
Why they're
they
so
talk
strong
about all
stuff.
that in the movie. The whole thing's pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. I really did. I don't know what's missing from the movie and the manga, but the only reason I didn't get them, because that was the only manga that I was going to pick up, was that one. Because I think it's called, so it's Alita Battle Angel is the name of the movie, but I think the manga is called Battle Angel Alita. I think that's the difference. And so I had it in my Amazon cart, but it was a little pricey, and I was just like, you know what? And then somebody had downplayed it. So I had mentioned that was one I've been thinking about getting and reading and having it, and they were like, well, it's an older one from the 80s, and it's, you know, it's not that great art. And I was just like, oh, okay. And so I took it out of my cart. But then since then, every time I've mentioned this story, everyone's like, no, it's pretty good. You should get it. So now I'm torn.
Have a good night, Eric. Thanks for stopping by, bud.
Oh, thanks, brother.
Yeah, let's see. Let me remove this. I'll show you the ones that I got, because I for Christmas they bought me the first 3 volumes. They're the big hardcover ones, but there's 5. And you could buy all 5, and they come in like a big cardboard slipcase thing.
Yeah.
Let's see if I could remove. Can I not? Can I do that? Okay. I'm gonna go. I got them right here. I'll show you.
Did you get into the Battle Angel Alita or no?
No, I'd heard of it, but I never.
Did you watch the movie?
Nope.
The movie I thought was fun. It was fun.
It sounds fun.
The character is a really cool character, and I would have already got her statue if it wasn't crazy expensive.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was into getting it, but I'm telling you, they downplayed it, and so I didn't.
So much speed lines.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and I'm not usually a fan of the speed lines, and I do notice. So here's a conversation. So you guys draw, I don't. How do you feel about speed lines?
I love them.
Huh?
Well, I think JBot has a little more manga influence.
Yeah, that's very clear.
I like them used sparingly, but I think when they are used, they should be used for what they're used for, which is to signify action,
right?
Not just to get out of drawing a background.
So we're in the same camp. We're in the same camp. Okay, good, because this is exactly what I want to talk about. Pull up a good picture with speed lines if you can. There you go. And is there one? That's good. Okay, I'm gonna get it. You sold me. All right.
Yeah,
for being 80s, the art's amazing.
Yeah, the art's great.
Yeah, I'll get it. I'm gonna get it now. No, from that book. Is there one in that book?
What?
Or you don't know? Just because I want to see the difference, because what I have noticed in some not all, obviously not all, and I usually try to stick with most of my books are coming from the bigger comic book pros. Not always though. I love that page. Yeah, I want that as an art print. I love that character,
that's
man.
Amazing.
I really
these
do.
are. They're hard. They're hardcover. These are the only ones I buy. I don't buy tiny mangas. If I'm gonna buy it, it's gonna be like this.
Yeah,
I know you want a big thick boy in your hands. I know.
I want a thick boy. But each volume is like a different phase in her life.
Yeah, no, that's a better way to do it for sure. And I don't like
this
the
one
size
talks
of
about
manga.
this one talks about like the city and stuff, and when she first gets found, and the boy and stuff like that. And then after that, it's so that's why it's like right after that, then it's all the roller derby stuff. It's separate.
I mean, I liked it. I know for a fact all the stuff that I liked growing up and everything, like even like as a kid, like that movie, I would have loved it then. So I really liked it now. And I've heard people, just like the manga, people are kind of torn on it. Either they like it or they don't like it. I haven't really heard people going, "Oh, it's okay." Did you like the movie, or you said you didn't see it?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't even seen the animated movie.
Yeah, no, I like it. Yeah, you told me I'm gonna get it now.
But just the way they draw her, like you really start to like her as a character.
Yeah, big fan.
So I didn't even read it. I just bought those, and I was surprised how good they were.
Yeah.
Well, we got Dragon Pisces quoting Tom Cruise there. As far as speed lines, he has the need for speed. I've done them. They're fun to do. I mean, it's kind of time consuming, especially to make them look really good. I mean, you just have a vanishing point and you're just drawing line after line after line, and you're trying to taper them a little bit to make it. But every time I've done it, it looks cool, and I go, I should do that more. But
here's my take on it. So most of the guys that we hang out with and talk to and everything, and we back the books and all that type of stuff. So everything. So we already know we're getting independent comics.
Right.
Some are better than others, but my thing is, if you're getting an independent comic, can we try to do a little better and make it so it doesn't look like an independent comic? And there's been a couple of them, not all of them, but I have seen, and I almost always pass on the artwork that they're showing on the campaign. If there's they'll have their main image, and then either there's no background, or it's speed lines, and then it's every panel is speed lines, or there's so much of it. I'm just like, So I pass on that because I'm like, oh, clearly that's cool though. But see, that's not every panel, and I've seen your other work before. That is really
that one's
cool.
not going to do it justice. Let's see if I can do it.
I know it's not doing it justice. It's still cool.
Bigger.
Yeah.
But that takes that took so much freaking time.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah.
Especially because it was all tapered lines. So
right, and so it takes all that time, but then it makes me wonder why. Well, because I mean, I guess a line is easier than drawing it, coming up with a background. Because I don't know if you guys have seen this pattern too, but on some books that have been campaigns have been running, there's a lot of speed lines that you're seeing on the campaign page.
I mean, it's also an influence too. A lot of people are influenced by anime and manga.
Sure.
A lot of people grew up with it.
And
that's what I was wondering.
There's a placating to the popularity of it too. It's like you do that, it's more like what younger people are reading and liking. So
let me show you a good one.
So
my kids are kind of weebs too. So
well, there is a whole thing like that. So am I crazy though, or is it is there a thing of too much?
I think so, but I think it's subjective, of course.
See, and that's kind of what I'm getting at, I think, because I liked your image there. I thought that was really cool, and I've seen not all, but I've seen some of your other work, and that's the first time I've seen speed lines. So, and it was sandwiched between those other two panels, and so then it looks really, really cool. But there have been some campaigns where I've seen the entire page, every panel has speed lines, and then the one panel that didn't have speed lines, it's blank behind. There's no background, there's no nothing. So to me, that's not engaging. So I have seen a lot of speed lines in the anime and the manga and the stuff that people are saying, hey, this is a cool book, check this out. So when they're thumbing through the pages, I do notice that there's more than I'm used to, but I don't know if it's like this. See, that's cool. That's cool. But I don't know.
But it really follows the action of the scene.
Yeah, you're getting the action. You're getting
so it actually is involved in the page, not just replacing the background. But I think the reality is, as long as you have an establishing shot, to where the environment that the characters are in, after that, it's all bets are off. I think just getting away from entirely drawing backgrounds after you have the establishing shot is still a cop out, but As long as you've established where the characters are, that's kind of the typical rule, is that you have to have one establishing shot. Then you don't have to worry about your backgrounds as much. But I still think it's somewhat of a cop out. But again, like if it's like modern, like mainstream comics, there's not a lot of speed lines and it's really boring. So they're not making it exciting.
Yeah, they have to make it exciting and show the action, especially when they'll show the
I understand. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
So sometimes it is a cop
balance in my mind, but
you have that balance. This is Hajime no Ippo, which is like called Fighting Ippo or boxing. It's a boxing manga, and it's also anime that's really good. And the guy who does it owns a boxing gym,
right?
And they grab stuff from like real boxing, like they're talking about Ali and Tyson and like all these different techniques that actually exist, but they animate, they make a manga.
Yeah.
So like instead of like a snap jab just being a snap jab, they make the snap jab so fast. Like this guy's like he's a master at the snap jab, and you can't see his fist.
Right. Yeah.
So Ippo's like, well, shit, I gotta fight this guy. So then Ippo trains to fight whoever he's fighting. So there'll be like usually like 3 or 4 episode arcs of Ippo training to get better to fight a certain fighter and try and counter his technique with his technique, which is he's a peekaboo fighter. So he's like Tyson, he's like Jack Dempsey. So he's a big like fighter, gonna hit you real fucking hard, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's him trying to adapt to other people's fighting style, and it's that
very
class
off to the right,
training to get stronger and stuff. But probably one of the best animes that I've ever freaking seen. It's probably like my favorite. But they haven't released the manga in English. Like it doesn't exist unless it's like fan translated online, but you can't buy it physically, and it's been out since like the 80s.
Oh wow. So I remember Fist of the North Star. That was one I grew up with.
Yeah.
And that was like one of those where they were always showing like how fast the guys could punch. And it would just be all this like, 20 hands in each animation cell. And then just showing it like really fast. So it's just like, woo, like so many hands. And that was the whole concept of Fist of the North Star, was their hands were super fast. See, that's cool. It's super exaggerated, but it's cool.
Yeah, just the way they show the motion and the impact that this guy does of the boxing.
Yeah.
It's just, man, it's just so good.
And then there's still a background and there's speed lines, but it's showing you the
background
of the fist. And so that's cool. From what I've been seeing is it's very similar to what Odin had, where all the speed lines went to the center and then there'd be some kind of image in front of the center. And then you'd have all the diagonal speed lines going out, and it would just go in the background for that. And it's they're not moving, it's not going fast. So
yeah, unless you have
cool. That's the first time I've ever even seen like the horizontal speed lines, the punch. That's cool. Everything about that is cool. And so so it's just either independent creators with not a lot of experience, probably trying to just do what they like in the manga is probably what it is. Because I've never seen any of this in the
Big Boy Robo
never got funded.
That's a good point. A Big Boy Robo has a good point there.
What do you say?
They're drawing so fast that they have to put speed lines in place of backgrounds.
Yeah,
there you go.
And that's true. I mean, they're pumping out so much content that they're just like, why even bother with backgrounds? And this is all action stuff. Let's just put speed lines. Yeah.
But they do like weekly, like shonen or whatever. They do like weekly pages. Like each thing is like weekly.
And all this
and then they collect them in the volumes too.
All this makes sense. My only question was about the independent books that I've seen, like a couple of them,
American style.
Too much, yeah. They're American. They're clearly American, and the book is not really, looking really manga-ish. But then they're throwing speed lines in it like it is, and it's just like every panel, and just like this is cool. Like those speed lines are cool. I've never seen stuff like this because I've never really got into manga, so I'm in now.
Yeah,
you definitely.
Well, and this is classic comic book style, you can pick up a comic book from the 70s or 80s. It's going to have this kind of, when there's action, you're going to put, and they wouldn't call them speed line, they call them motion lines, but it signifies movement, like it's going so fast that you can't catch a still shot of it without a blur.
Yeah, and the energy like that this guy captures. I don't even know his name. I'm horrible with Japanese
really
names
cool,
too.
Man.
I'll be like the guy who does this. But man, the way he does the art, and it's not like traditional looking manga. Like it doesn't look like you could tell it's manga, but he has his own style, which I think is really neat, and it's very defined. Like he's not drawing people with tiny noses. He'll draw each guy looks different, and his characters all have different like different faces and different just all types of. This is great, And so I think this is something that people need to strive for more, and just trying to do like traditional stuff, and even like the way he draws his the muscles and stuff is so defined. Like it's so dang good.
Well, and that's one thing that I've always taken, I guess, umbrage with manga or even anime is that the shadowing doesn't create that depth. Now he's using grayscale, which helps a lot. But like in my drawings, I mean, I'm taking so much time to do cast shadows and make sure the light source and everything is correct, so that but it creates so much depth, which manga doesn't always have. It doesn't have that depth because like the faces all look the same. There's not a lot of shadow on the faces. And occasionally in certain scenes they'll put a shadow, but like I think with what I'm doing, but again, it's like time. It's so time consuming to add all that. And if you're kind of pressed for time, you're not going to add those kind of cast shadows and things like that to create that same depth.
Yeah.
But this looks great. And again, he's using lots of line hatching and grayscale. Even though it's cartoonish in the faces, like
I
can see the rendering and stuff on all the depth in the shadows. So, and the light source.
Dude's back, just fucking.
Yeah, exactly. It's got great musculature on his back there with the motion, which is great.
Yeah,
so I have this. I have these two images here because this is basically. It's almost like they just stole this and just put it behind every panel. And then what I grew up with, I remember what you were talking about, because like anything clearly with the Flash in it had that kind of motion.
Yeah, it's got to have motion
lines.
Or else it doesn't show it properly.
And so that makes sense. But like I was just saying, like and I haven't seen too many lately, but there were some books, and then they didn't get funded. But it seemed like they're making the indie book, and then it looks like an indie book. Like everything about it, like nothing about it looks like they were really trying. It almost was like, hey, I can draw kinda, and I want a lot of money, so here's my book. And that's how I felt about it. And I think that's how a lot of people felt about it.
Well, yeah, if it didn't get funded, that's probably how a lot of people felt, I guess.
Let's see. Yeah, but like any of these old Flash images here, let's see.
But at the end of the day, you're trying to tell a story, and whatever the story is, some are more intense. Some are going to have tons of action. And if you have tons of action, throw in the speed lines like crazy. Yeah. It's going to look cool. So when I'm drawing like a fight scene, whenever I draw a fight scene, I put speed lines, So.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I like that. But I mean, like even like looking at this Flash piece, there's still a background, even though this one doesn't have much of a background, but there's still other stuff going on. And I like that. And it clearly shows that the Flash is moving really fast. But
I think that shows them moving fast by having a still background.
Yeah.
And having him move fast, it shows that he's moving faster than everything else in the world,
Yeah.
So that definitely works for a character who's supposed to be faster than everything else,
No, and that 100% makes sense. But
it
then
shouldn't seem like a shortcut,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But I get it, like Big Boy Robo keeps mentioning, it's like they have to take those shortcuts.
They're under the gun. They're drawing so fast. To crank out those manga, yes, but the indie creators on Indiegogo,
right? They have all the time in the world.
That's what I'm talking about. So I don't know. I want to make sure that I'm not getting confused. I understand manga. I get it. I get that's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
And what I've seen here with the boxing stuff, they're different. It's there's different angles of it, but the ones that I have seen in the past on Indiegogo were very similar to what you showed for your speed lines on your page, but it was like every single panel was that same copy and paste form of speed lines with a stale image in front of it, and it wasn't an action scene. It didn't make sense. So it was just a way to fill the background. And those are independent comics. And if you're making an independent comic, you technically have all the time in the world.
Exactly.
And maybe not, if you've had it on Indiegogo forever and you still haven't pumped out a book, but if you're drawing, see, those are cool. That is really cool. And so
that's way cool.
I'm just showing cool shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's showing all the parry positions, and
you're not showing any of the garbage. But no, I get.
But if anybody ever puts speed lines on a background where there's no action,
right,
that's just stupid to begin with.
Okay, that's all I was talking about. That's what I was getting at. Is I've seen it in independent books and in that realm of where it seems like it's overused, and it's obviously it placates to the ability of the artist.
Yeah,
so
true. Yeah, no, I get that
thing. Yeah.
Let's share this real quick. Let's see. Oh yeah, we said it, hundreds because the move beyond. Some creators miss that. Manga shortcuts are done for a reason. Like the 100 hands are done because they move beyond what the eye can see. Some creators miss the point. That's what I feel about. You can tell though. I think your brain understands like that. Yeah, it doesn't look right. Your brain, you might not know that it's a shortcut what they're doing. And I'm not saying manga guys. I'm saying wannabe. Manga guys that are
using words in manga.
You can tell it's a shortcut. It doesn't, you know what I mean? You're like, ooh, I don't know what's wrong.
I've never personally picked up a manga book and thumbed through it. So what you've just shown me is mostly my first experience into it, and then like people talk about it. And I watch some of those streams because I know Nerdy Girl Creates. She's always talking about manga books, and I watch her stream sometimes. But like to actually sit down and thumb through it and read it, I haven't. So my talking about it in period wasn't talking about that stuff at all.
Yeah,
and what you showed me is amazing.
Yeah, just the indie stuff you've seen seems like it's a shortcut.
Yes, that's the only where I'm coming from. Because even like the old books had it, but then there was always like a back. There's always something else going on, and then it also was showing you motion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I will say that like in the manga world, same as in the American comic world. I mean, there's levels, right? There's really good ones, and there's really kind of
I'm sure
lame ass ones too. And the really good mangas that I've seen are like, they're really good. There's no doubt. There's no denying the storytelling is on point. The imagery, even if it is kind of the stylistic, there's no shortcut. They're doing it. They're doing the work, and it looks amazing. So again, there's tiers to everything. There's good and bad all across the board. But like you said, I've seen some lazy campaigns where they're doing things like that or some kind of cop out, and and it's good or it could be good, but not quite there.
Yeah, like this nerd.
And so speaking of indie again, and I'm talking about indie books, everybody, just indie books. So how do you feel about, because I know variants sell books, and I understand, you get a good guy to draw your book and all that stuff. So how do you feel in an independent book when somebody throws down some money or they get a really good artist for that cover and then the interior is literal crap? Do you feel gypped?
Yeah, it's bait and switch.
Yeah, it is. And so I know that, a lot of times, I mean, I've got a lot of the Danger Girl series. And so after that first 6, Jay Scott only did the covers and he didn't do the interiors. And some of the interiors are okay. And then some of the books, like I wasn't a huge fan. Like it's a huge difference from how she's supposed to look from the cover than how she looks in the interior. And so that one I don't mind so much because I understand it's a mainstream book. There's a whole thing behind it. But as the indie book, I feel robbed.
Well, I think it's almost like overcompensation, like your stuff isn't good enough to sell on its own, so you have to hire a great cover artist to compensate for the lack of quality, and then it does feel like bait and switch. But
and I'm not,
you got to be savvy looking at campaigns and seeing like how much interior work.
Yeah, I've learned that. I definitely have learned that along the way. Yeah. But and I'm not talking about like the bigger comic book professionals that we already know is putting out great art anyway. That does like 3 different varied covers, and they got their buddies helping them out and doing covers and stuff. So it's like an Ethan cover on a Tucci book, like that kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the lower tier guys, where you got like a pretty cool looking cover and then you open it up and then you're like, what did I buy? What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that happened to me like in the 90s a lot. Like there was a big boom and like all these like new titles coming out, and I'd see these covers, and they were also doing like the exciting like chromium and whatever foil embossed kind of cover, whatever gimmick they could come up with, and you're like, this looks so cool, and then you buy it and get home and you're like,
yeah,
a bunch of garbage,
like damn it,
just buy, and then they charge a lot because the cover costs so much.
Yeah,
you're like, I paid $6 for a piece of something that I might as well just throw in the trash because it's nothing, it's not good at all.
Yeah,
it might look good on the wall. So
I went back and I'm trying to think what I picked up maybe like 3 or 4 months ago. I think I picked up some like Brigade and I think I got like the first 3 issues of Wildcats and what else did I get? I think I got 1 or 2 of Danger Girl, and I think some like Gen 13s and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were at like Second and Charles, and I was like, yeah, let me get these. And man, Image Books had a problem of exposition dumps. Holy shit, man.
Yes.
Like I was reading Wildcats and they're just throwing all this information at you. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on in this book, man.
They tried really hard. That's all I can say.
I'm like, this is issue 1, man. You don't got to tell me like this person teleports with that and that person is this person's cousin, but then this person is the bat. I'm like, dude, just stop a bank robbery, man, or something. Like you start traveling through time in issue 2. You're like, well, what the fuck, man?
I think they wanted to tie each other's universes in together. And they're like, they basically wanted the Marvel or DC universe right out of the gates, not realizing that it took so long to establish all of that. And they're like, no, they were like a 15-year-old prom night or something. They're just like, blah, just throw it all out there.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I don't remember it being so wordy.
And the artwork obviously was always awesome. And then it's like, man, the execution of the stories half the time. The only one that was consistently solid right off the rip, well, I mean, some others were okay, but like the one that was always consistently solid was Spawn.
Yeah,
like Todd McFarlane kind of went, you guys are doing your stuff and all trying to create this universe, I'm just making a killer book. And he really was really consistent with it. His came out on time while the other guys were late. He was always the flagship and Image back then, because he didn't kind of screw the pooch on all those things that you're talking about, the weird inconsistencies and trying to create a universe and a group of characters without anybody knowing them. And like,
it wasn't a team book. You had Youngblood, you had Brigade, you had Wildcats. Right off the rip, these guys that worked on X-Men or X-Force, Liefeld and Jim Lee and stuff, they're like, let's do a team book. It's like, dude, just do one character good and then introduce other characters later.
Well, it seemed like they all kind of gravitated to what they were working on, because like Dale Keown was doing Hulk, and then he did Pitt. Youngblood was basically X-Force, and then Wildcats was X-Men, and Savage Dragon, I guess you could say that was Spider-Man, and Spawn was kind of Spider-Man. Like the characters kind of looked like what they were working on with Marvel.
And even the names were similar too. I mean, if you think about it, you have Spawn's next to Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Eric Larson did Spider-Man. Savage Dragon starts with S. Youngblood is Y. When Liefeld was X-Force.
Wildcats is close to X also.
Wildcats. It's like.
Yeah, no, it was a fun time, but I remember that kind of like that letdown of like so much excitement, and then you're just like, okay, now what? Like, are you gonna keep giving us good quality? And it did kind of wane, and they were trying too many things. Like, it was a lot. They were trying so much. They just did so much at once. I don't know. Tried too hard.
Yeah.
But I still love it.
Oh yeah.
As an artist, I was like, I don't care about the stories or the consistencies. I just like this art. So.
I bought the Battle Chasers, the complete volume that has everything. I don't know what the hell's going on in that book. I have no idea. Like what's happened. Oh, the girl gets gloves and there's a robot and then there's a wizard dude and there's like these other. There's like some shark guy that eats stuff and I'm like, there's a lady with tickle bitties and stuff and I'm like, cool. What are they doing? I don't know. This guy has a magical sword.
Does it matter?
Something happened. Yeah, I'm just like, but then again, it's the same problem. It's like they're trying. It's like imagine if you're playing like Final Fantasy or something, and then they give you all the story up front, and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
You don't remember that guy? He's this guy. I'm like, who?
It's just too much all at
This
once.
art's great though. Like,
well, and that's where like they didn't have editors when they didn't have writers that were writing their own stuff, but they would find these things like pacing issues and like and again, they'd been drawing so long, so it looks like it would flow just like an X-Men story.
Yeah.
But then you're like, but it doesn't seem to grip you the same way. Part of the reason is you already knew the X-Men before Jim Lee started drawing on it,
Mm-hmm.
Like I walked into the X-Men comic books kind of having an idea that they were actual characters and what their powers were, etc. So.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was when I've said before, when I was a kid, and I never got all the books, so I liked the story, and that was important to me, and that's probably why today I make sure I buy trades, so I get a whole story all at once, and I'll read a whole trade at night. Some of them are bigger than others, so I don't usually get through one a night, but I try to get through one a night. And but when I was a kid, I didn't care as much. I mean, I did. I was like, oh, I wish I know the rest of the story, but I was just into the next book. The cover looked great. I had to get it, and I would read it over and over and over again. So I never had, the complete story arc, but I enjoyed the hell out of them back then. But now I'm in a different boat where even though I still love the art, and that's the most important thing to me, I still like to have a little bit of story.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, and obviously it's a bonus when they're both there, but I would buy a book on if the art was phenomenal.
Right.
Regardless. I'm in the same boat. But that said, like, I would only pick it up for reference or to admire the art if the story sucked,
I think the story sells a book. The story will sell a book after the fact. The art will sell the book right then and there.
Initially.
When you see that cover, you're buying it right then and there. But if your friend says, oh, you got to read Sandman or whatever. Growing up, I never looked at Sandman because the covers were always weird. I was like, dude, like give me Spider-Man, like give me X-Men, like give me this weird abstract. I'm like, forget that, man. I'm gonna go get Spider-Man,
Yeah.
I remember how much I hated Bill Sienkiewicz when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I thought Bill Sienkiewicz was the worst artist ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, man, this guy sucks. And I hate all his books. And then as I got older and my taste refines, I'm like, man, this guy was so ahead of his time. And he's so it's weird how that shifts, but
it does.
There's a reality to it, like I wasn't buying it. If I saw him on the cover, I was like, it's too weird. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why is everybody so skinny and thin? And what's up with all these weird splatters?
Right. Like, why are you getting all artistic with it? I just want to see cool shit.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? I mean, still, I'm like, honestly, like I got the Moon Knight on the omnibus.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, cool, like awesome. And then like his stuff starts, and I'm just like, okay.
Well, I love it now.
70s stuff better.
Well, it's one of those things where they say like to be a good artist and break the rules, you have to know the rules really well.
Yeah.
Like Sienkiewicz could draw like a perfect portrait any day of the week, He just went artistic with it, and it either like it or you don't. But I think I also like gravitated towards Simon Bisley and Jay Lee so much.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, they were both influenced by Sienkiewicz. I see it. So then I went back and started appreciating it for what it was. But.
Yeah.
Beers and rum, Tarks 9. That sounds good.
There we go.
So the cool thing about that theater that I go to is it's one of those theaters where you can have a beer while you watch the movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's $2.50 to watch a movie on the Tuesdays when they do an older one, which is usually the ones I want to see anyway. It's like a movie from my childhood or something that's like going to be on the big screen.
Yeah.
And then beers are pretty cheap, and then they have bottomless popcorn for $8. So again, it's like way cheaper than going to the big theater to see a new movie. And it's usually a movie I know I'm going to like, plus I can have a beer. So
yeah,
I always enjoy that. So Tarks 9, enjoy your beers and rum, which doesn't sound like the greatest combination. I don't know. I drink beer and whiskey a lot, but like beer and rum just seems like not as good. But that's me.
All right.
Yeah, it must have been awesome to see Blade Runner on the big screen.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then the volume, in the speakers. So the sound was another big element. But yeah, the visuals, seeing them on the big screen, and then the sound, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I always wonder, like, there's this fan question, was Deckard, was he an android as well?
Yeah. Well, the writer said no.
I know he said that, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, the writer's like, no, dude, because he's too cool. It was the whole, like, they added the footage of Legend after the fact or whatever. I guess the leftover unicorn was from Legend.
Yeah.
And they
that was funny. It was at the theater, but my DVD copy that I've watched forever, I'm like, I was never there.
Yeah.
But yeah, then
he's
you get
like,
this
he
unicorn.
could be, and then the writer's like, fuck no, he's not. No, he's not.
Well, he totally, like, got it on with one. So that's
what movie?
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Oh, it's just like, what?
Yeah, so Deckard got it on with an android. So either he was one or he was banging one. But I guess that was like a thing. They had pleasure bots or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
They're making those now.
Yeah, I know. I know. Like, as I was watching them, like, that's not that far off. Yeah.
What was that? It was somebody put on Twitter. There's like a stripper one now. Like, literally there's a pole.
I didn't see that.
Like a stripper robot.
The robot doing the hip gyrating on the pole, and I was like,
yeah. And I was just
they
like,
got the movement down. That's true.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know what's going on, but all those dystopian future movies, they're on their way.
They're coming.
So Tarks9 said he bought books based on just the cover alone. I'm in the same boat I was when I was a kid. I still am.
Always.
And some, not all, but some, I really enjoyed the book after the fact, but I bought it just on the cover alone. So I grabbed a couple.
Oh,
and this was the one I grabbed. It was Stoker and Wells, and Billy Tucci did the cover, so that was 100% why I grabbed it. But Stephen Peros, he created it and wrote it, and it was illustrated by Barry Orkin, and it's this whole story. It's a time machine story, and then Bram Stoker's Dracula is in it. And so they go back in time, just like in the time machine story, but then they bring back the vampire, the Dracula.
Interesting. So it's like Bill and Ted's.
I'll show that cover.
Yeah, but it's like really cool looking art. Like, so here's the art, the interior art.
Oh yeah. Wow.
So it's legit art, but this is why I bought it. That's the cover.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Dude, that's awesome.
So this was a Billy Tucci cover and it's autographed. So to me, this was amazing. And you know how I love my ladies. So like that right there, I loved the cover 100%. And I didn't care what the story was about.
Right.
Billy Tucci had the guy on the stream, and I was watching it, and I said, done. I ordered it right then because it was already in demand, but he'd already had the books, and so he was just shipping them out. So he was still using Indiegogo to do that. So I did that one.
Oh yeah.
And I loved it. It was a good story.
Yeah, everything inside looked great.
Really great art, and it's a great story. And then I picked this up on eBay because I missed this campaign, Six Gun Gorilla.
Oh, I remember.
You know, I love gorillas.
Yeah.
And it's a Western. He's got 2 6 guns or 6 shooters there. I'm in. And then you got the redhead there. Oh, where is she? The redhead.
Yeah,
so everything
like
about that, I was just like, I gotta have this. And
you're a sucker for redheads too.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, you need to get on my head, or we're like brothers, like for real. Because we're the same in so many things.
I think I'm a sucker for blondes and brunettes too, though. But
that's all I married was blondes and brunettes. But I love redheads.
Yeah, I love them all.
So yeah, so this one, and then there was a thing because he had it printed through Two Fisted Comics or something. I don't know. He had it printed for somebody. So this was a trade of the first 6 books. And then somebody was telling me after the fact that he had a bad experience with this, so he might not do it again. So all the rest were coming out floppies. That's the whole reason I haven't got them yet, because I love my trade format.
Yeah.
But still, I love that one. But then this one is another one. I like the story, but I picked up this cover. This was Patrick Thomas Parnell's Ultra Star.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys read that one or not, but
no,
I was going to pass originally because it was just another superhero story. The cover didn't really like jump out at me, but then he showed this cover and I said, okay, I got to have it. And then
I was going to back that one. That was the one I was going to get.
What'd you say?
I was gonna back that one, and that was the cover I was gonna get.
Yeah, I ended up, because this was the Japanese
cool
version,
cover.
and like he was sending it was like an international package, but it let me ship it here. So I said, okay, I'll take that one. And I really liked it. It was a unique cover, but then I actually loved the story. And
Was it
not
signed by-
that his art's bad, it's just I didn't love the cover.
Yeah. Was it signed by Parnell on that?
Yeah, he signed it.
Nice.
And then this one here, not Indiegogo, and I'm a sucker for He-Man, so I got this.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah,
very cool.
So I don't know if anybody's read this and if it's worth trying to get the rest, because this is book 5, and I think there's 6 books in the series. I'm pretty sure Gem Mint Collectibles, I'm pretty sure he read the omnibus for this and was saying how good it was, but then he already sold the omnibus, so I mean it might not be that great.
Right.
But I like the art. So if anybody's read this or knows, if it's worth trying to collect the other ones, but I did pick up the second one for the cheap. This was not cheap. This is the most expensive one. It's very hard to find, and when you can, it's online. And then people are selling like the whole set minus this book, and they're selling this book separate because on purpose it's a collectible item. But I would love to have this poster.
Always makes you wonder why the one is more rare.
Yeah, well, I figure because she's on the cover. It's the one that she were on.
Everyone loved it.
That's the one thing about it. But yeah, there's some books where you're like, why is that the rare one? And
yeah, sometimes it makes sense, and sometimes you're like,
yeah,
why is that the coveted book? There's no reason for
it.
Yeah, somebody knows something that I don't,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have anything else to show. You can take me off full screen now.
Okay.
And
well, gentlemen, I'm gonna bust out. I always gotta get up early tomorrow. So
yeah, no, it's nice hanging out.
Sounds good. I'm probably gonna wrap it up here in a few anyway. So,
but yeah, as always, great to see you both. And
yeah, no problem. And then when are your brothers coming up?
I picked them up Thursday morning. Well, Thursday morning, I'm leaving for Seattle to pick them up.
Yeah, okay.
There. Okay. So, and then they'll be here until Wednesday next week. So I'm going to be kind of out of commission for that length.
No, I knew that was coming, and I just thought it was all week. So so you popped in today. I was like, because I would have invited you yesterday, but you said you crashed out anyway.
So yeah, no, yesterday wouldn't have been good.
No big deal, no big deal. But no, I was wondering if you don't have any like crazy thing tomorrow. I didn't know we don't even have to go that long, but I wanted to do that private stream and talk about my stories and like get your thoughts and ideas and stuff.
Yeah, no,
but we don't have to if you're busy with other stuff.
Well, I mean, I'll let you know, but the only thing I'd be busy with is just kind of getting things ready for the day after. But I don't have to work the next day. I just have to.
Yeah, and like it wouldn't even be long. Like I wouldn't have a topic or anything. I'd be like, hey, here's my ideas. What do you think? And like just kind of bounce things back and forth.
Yeah.
And, like Jay said though, when I say quick, it's not quick.
Yeah, no, there's nothing quick.
Yeah, no, there's nothing quick with me.
No, but I think that'd be cool. Like I said, send me a link and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If I can,
I'll do it another time. It's no rush. But I'm getting a little excited now because there's a couple things I've talked about. People in the chat seem excited, so I'm like, I might as well. And I picked up some composition notebooks to start writing down more stuff in a do like actual page panels for storyboards.
Storyboarding, yeah. That's always the best bet. If you're wanting to create a comic book as you're writing, is to like storyboard as much as possible.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. I got three books for one story, so I figure one will be just each page will be a panel that it comes into my head, and then this will probably just be like the outline and like notes and things that I have, and then the other one will be character design stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I'd be down to like go over stuff with you, see what you got, see what you're.
Man, cool. And always nice hanging out with you, and you have a good night, brother.
Yeah, good night. See you, JBot. See anybody who's still in the chat, and we'll see y'all later.
Take it easy, brother. I think that's a good place to wrap it up. We were going for 2 hours. I think that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I get talking, and I can go for a long time. We just, it's like 4 hours later, and people are like, "Oh, I'm going to bed now." I'm like, "All right, see you later." But then more people pop in, and I'm like, "Where do I end it?" So,
yeah,
I've been thinking about maybe trying to keep it into the 1-2 hour range, like keep it a little bit shorter, especially during the weekday. But I just, like I said, without somebody saying, hey, we should wrap it up, or, and then when there's people in chat, I'm just like, well, I'll keep talking. Yeah.
But I think that's
maybe we get a timer.
Right. Bing.
Yeah. The old kitchen timer.
Eggs done. Yeah. Good night, Dragon. Thanks for stopping by. Andy, good night. If you guys haven't, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to Odin, subscribe to 80s Made Consumer, follow us on Twitter, and do all that jazz. And I appreciate you guys coming in and stopping by. I'm gonna try and do this every week. Maybe we'll do some more art next time. Once we get talking, though, it's just like we just get talking.
Yeah, it's horrible, man. I told everybody it was a draw stream. You didn't start drawing until
I stuck them in. I lie. I say it's a draw. Come see art, and then we just stuck them in.
What it was.
But hey, thanks again for everybody stopping by, and hey, good night.
Night, guys.